Gimme all the keys, I'm about
So
to
if I actually
unlock.
mute now, it makes more sense. So I put out a song in 2020 called Unlock, where I said, give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. And that's why, give me the keys it's been there. The whole idea, the concept of give me the keys, because it's just understanding this. There's a lot of ways to think about things. Have you guys ever noticed that? There is a lot of ways to dissect the configuration of memories and thoughts inside your mind. I think it's real funny that some memories we can't forget, but there's a lot of things actually that we've experienced, done, seen, thought of, interactions, and we have completely forgot them. We will never access them again. They're gone from our psyche. We can't remember everything. So the way that you configure your own memories, the ones that you give credence to or credit to or credibility, whatever memories and ideas you deem credible, those are going to become they're going to take up more space in the mural that you are. And this is a podcast. It's still a podcast. So I'll put out the theme song, Mice as well.
Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock.
I'll put out the theme song, Mice as well. I already made it. It's just a remix. And then, but yeah, podcast 5. This is a big one. This is a big podcast. I'm 5 in. Who would have thought? 2 weeks ago I wouldn't have thought this. I couldn't have predicted it. So I do like how it's come about rather quickly for me. There's some things when you get older, when you have a longer pool of configuration of memories and ideas and concepts and things you've learned, when you can start tethering those together, you're going to start understanding more, going to build a better standing, a better foundation of how you think and view the world, and what you deem important and what you deem worthless. This is psychology. It's meditation, mindfulness. We created buzzwords. The internet started and we got buzzwords. We got buzzing. We said, Urban Dictionary, load it up. John just came up with a new phrase. Parker just came up with a sick joke. I just learned what snatched meant. I'm 27 and I have to keep up with the new bank of words that come into the sphere. I talk for a living. Do we want to forget what we do for a living? No, we don't. We put on a show. We entertain. We create curiosity with our tone. Hey, reason I'm swinging by. Real cool like that. Tonality. So I talked a little bit about writing. So that's unique. I don't normally talk about writing. I'm usually thinking about writing. So now that I have this tripod of creativity, this tripod of long avenues of potential actually sounds pretty good. In music, writing, podcasting, they are hobbies that I can engage in forever. They're things worthwhile to invest in, as me being a 27-year-old educated, creative person. Some people aren't going to like the tone of what I'm saying. I just realized that. A lot of people won't like the tone of what I'm saying. They're not going to get it. Most people won't understand it. They just won't. It'll be in one ear, out the other. And the beautiful thing is, I can realize that here right now as I'm recording it, and let it go, let it die away. Don't water that. I can now reorient and refocus on what actually matters in my life, which is loving more, which is being more noble, being willing to be disagreeable, being willing to speak up, to communicate, to express, to be vulnerable, to say what you mean and mean what you say. You ever heard someone say that? So, and I just want to, I miss so many people in this world. Like, it dates all the way back to me being like 5 or 7. Just people, just friends that I had. I had this one really good friend, like, his name was Alec. And we lived by each other. We met in the 2nd grade. And we were on the playground 2nd grade. And we ran into each other. Like, physically, like, stumbled into each other, like, on the play set. And we looked at each other. And we both knew the other person's name was Alec. And we just instantly became friends. We both ran the opposite directions, but it was like, that was what a friendship, that's how easy it was for a friendship to start when you're a small human. Not identifying, just feeling all 5 senses. Just, what's that smell? You know, I'm blanking on other senses. Oh, this tastes so good, candy. I don't know what kids do, but just the concept of friendship. I miss a lot of my friends. This is gonna sound crazy. I'm pretty much. I'll listen back to the podcast that I record myself. I'll listen back. It's always like information to me when I listen back to it, which is kind of funny. But there's definitely points in it where I'm like, what am I getting at? What am I saying? Like, it's kind of, wow. Just stepping full foot into the 4th wall right there. Okay, I need to actually like reorient. I love I've been like stretching a lot. I'm trying to relax more. I have a lot of tension like in my anatomy. I need to let go of it. I need to literally let it free. There's just so many ways I can take the podcast. I jokingly said last podcast that it's like therapy. It's like therapy. It is. So the deeper idea that I was going to say earlier was about my friends. And I miss my friends so much. Like, I'm talking like people that I have extensive memories with, grew up with, did really stupid but super fun things that was part of being a kid. And I moved away for college. I've been moving a lot the last 3 years. I keep moving away from people I love. It hurts. And so part of this podcast is reconnecting those. I don't know who's going to listen to this. I don't know. There's no way to know. But there's a lot of people I miss, and I emulate my friends. My friends seem to bring out some of the best in me in certain ways. The friends that really know me and understand me. I mean, I just have, people that just care about me. And it's hard to say that. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. But, and then just the fact that I am capable of love. Like, I can be a force of love. I've been thinking about that idea there for like 4 years. 2019, 4 years. It's really important to me. It's pretty daggone important. But anyway, show don't tell. You guys remember, man, we had show and tell. back in elementary school, and I never got to do it. I mean, I don't think I ever got to do it. It's funny, the really like extroverted, like vocal kids, like were able to do show and tell. Because we used to do like maybe like 10 people, and people that were just extroverted would get to do that. So I remember watching it and just thinking, you gotta show more, buddy. You're talking, you're holding it in your hand, saying, this is a red sports Corvette car. Very redundant. You need to show, don't tell. Show them. The mind's eye. A window unto the world. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I just went to the store. Nothing registered, right? You didn't see anything. But if I say, I hopped on my yellow bike and cruised down the hill in the breeze to the store, boom, mind's eye, you saw that. So this is a deeper form of communication for me. I talk for a living, and I thought about this today. If for whatever reason my vocal cords just were ripped from my body, if something happened where my vocal cords were just ripped out of my mouth, someone ran off with them, and I had no vocal cords, I'd be like, I wouldn't be able to podcast. I wouldn't be able to make music. It'd be harder. I guess I could slap my arms around or something, but that's the dumbest thing I've ever said. Gosh, I can't believe I said that. There's no edits. All right, we can just move on from that because that was silly. What am I talking about? Dude, I don't even know. The show notes. So what's next? I mean, as this comes out, this is the recording for Pod 5. I got some show notes. We're playing music. Hey, Z. Hey, give me the keys. Like, turn this off. I'm freaking out. Give me the keys, dude. I'm going home. I'm going to the car. Freaking. But yeah, next week, or I guess tomorrow, November 30th, the beginning of December 2023, I'll be in Sherman Oaks. That's a place in California. I'll be there for a few nights. Close to some places you've probably heard of, like Beverly Hills, Hollywood, that type of thing. And then I'll be going through Death Valley. So I'm finishing Breaking Bad. This is news. These are in the show notes. I mean, if you guys... A show is like, dun, 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 and we're back with another episode of Gimme the Keys. This next week on Gimme the Keys, I'm going to be traveling with my family in California, going through Death Valley, into Arizona, or Nevada, into Las Vegas, hopefully seeing the Sphere. Going to get spherical with my presence, I guess you could say. Full senses, full auditory experience, visual. I can't wait for that. I mean, I'm going to be there right now. Like, when I'm in there and it's happening, I'm going to be like, this is... No! I can't wait for that. I was listening. I found Rick Rubin's podcast. He has a podcast. Rick Rubin does one, and he had Huberman on it 5 days ago. And this video has 16,000 views. This is Rick Rubin and Andrew Huberman. And it's well done. It's a creative, the video is cool. It's a little television. It's blue and orange, and it shows the WAV file coming through. You can't see Rick. You can't see Andrew. It's just their voices in a space. Super creative. The thumbnails are cool. They're all minimal and white. And these two are talking, and it's the wordlessness I talked about comes from this podcast. And I had never heard this side of Andrew Huberman. It's so intimate. It's so real. He talks about having to make a decision to go to NYU or Stanford, and how that was a constellation of rational but also subjective decisions he had to make in his young life, and he had to branch out a certain direction, and he had to make this big choice. And it was pretty profound to me. I mean, I remember laying there in my bed with an AirPod in, like, wow, this is pretty cool. So that was inspiring to me. But yeah, I'll be traveling a lot next week. And then I'm coming home. KY, coming all the way back, driving all the way back. That's a good 18 hours if you minimally stop. So that's 2 days worth of driving. So I got a little hotel. I ain't gonna disclose my zip because, you know, I'm not trying to get caught out here in the streets, but stupid. But no, I got a like decent hotel. And then I'll be driving back. I'm going to Louisville. Louisville, say it like you got some marbles up in your jaw. Louisville. Not Louisville, not Louisville. It's Louisville. So I'll be there and then back up to NKY. The dirty streets of NKY, boy. I can see it now. Overcast, snowy, but like sloshed around in the street. It's got that it's like almost black sludge. The trees are all hanging on by a thread. They're all twigs. People can't drive well. There's some potholes in my hometown. We had a real issue about 4 or 5 summers ago. The potholes were getting out of control. People were posting online about the potholes. One guy posted on Facebook, got like 3,000 likes. It was his rim completely bent from the NKY potholes. So I haven't driven in my own car in NKY in a long time. So I'm driving all the way back. I'll be there for 2 weeks, and then I'm driving back. I'll be back in Colorado Springs for New Year's. New Year's really I can feel a new year in my loins. Even this far out, it's still November, but I can feel something boiling up, something bubbling to the surface that's just gonna energy, show, don't tell. Gosh, it's such a simple concept. Podcast 5, being silly, thinking about humor, but also also being free of judgment. Being able to connect silly ideas or have a train of thought that gets me somewhere I wasn't planning on going. But I listen. In the body, I got to talk about this if I can squeeze this in. This Eckhart Tolle. The book that I keep referring to, it's Eckhart Tolle, not Tolle. He lives inside my head as Eckhart Tolle. I still call him Tolle. But his book, The Power of Now, oh my gosh. I was reading it today. I don't have it on me. Do I? Oh, I do. Let's go. Freaking Bible study over here. Book study, book club. I always want to be in a book club, but this here, I gotta really notate. Okay, I'll read this one little bit. At this higher energy level, negativity cannot affect you anymore, and you tend to attract new circumstances that reflect this higher frequency. That's the most. So what I'm hearing when I say at this higher energy level, I'll make the scientific case for what I'm talking about when I'm like using these horrible words like extreme now, extreme presence. What is that? I think it's a couple things. One, I think it's the synapses in your brain reconnecting. After 7 years, I think that your brain will somehow reconnect its synapses to further intertwine old memories or old touch points that have happened in your life since you've been a 5-year-old kid, since you've been little. I think it's that. I think it's a mixture of going inward through intentional uses of like THC or CBD or something like kava or something like tongit. There's a lot of roots, there's a lot of herbs that you can take that can help your mind. A mushroom you could eat. I was just reading about it the other day. there's certain mushrooms that just help your neuroplasticity. I mean, these are big, smart people words, guys. Come on, trust me. So I think it's that, but also I do think it's just a simple connecting of like patterns, like seeing more patterns and understanding more patterns. I think that can help somebody feel super, lifted up, like you feel elevated somehow, some way. And the other thing is just alertness, noticing, ability to notice what is going on, the fine detail of stillness, the fine detail of feeling your whole body and being right there. I mean, there could be people around and you can still have your entire body relaxed. You're breathing deeply, you're smiling, you're noticing other people around you, you're like so appreciative of the moment with them that they're really there with you, and you can really be here with them right now without having to say anything. That's a superpower. And I want to say that a lot of this I've gotten from this book called The Power of Now. And there's just things that I underline. I mean, this is today what I read was talking about the body. I think about how important our bodies are, our flesh, our little meat wagons that we're just attached to. Is our body. Like, we are our body. We don't need to like negatively think about ourselves with our bodies, because our bodies are separate from who we are. However, this is your body. You are your body. You have to recognize the paradoxical distinction between these two things. You almost have to latch it together. You have to mesh them together. So when I say something that sounds like one thing, and then a second I finish the sentence with what seems like the exact opposite, and there's no line of thinking, connect the ideas. This connection, this synapsing is what I think is like, I think it's a lot of things. I think it's taking care of your body. I think it's reading. I think it's practicing communication. I think it's being vulnerable in my own when I'm journaling, being vulnerable when I have like thoughts to myself about my own ability to do good, to be a moral, upright human, to be cognitively sharp, to be producing and engaged in meaningful conversations, to actually hear what people say, to have empathy, to make people feel more comfortable, to make people feel like everything's okay, that there is a good time here, that we are in good hands. Like, these are all the ideas. They're the ideas. So yeah, I mean, show 5, I mean, I really like a sweet spot about 20 minutes. It makes the editing easy, and man, I just wanted to, I'm hitting the road. I'm flying out the plane and then hitting the road and then driving back to Colorado from California, and then driving back to Kentucky from California from Colorado. I mean, it's going to be so much fun. I want to do like some interactive vlogs. I want to post on Insta some polls. Like, I want there to be some, because my hope would be drive all day, podcast, get to the hotel, maybe edit it down, and then put it out the next day. And then, yeah, so for that podcast, like, I want it to be the most interactive, the most like audience involved. I'm not going to say any names, but I need some ideas, some buzzwords, some like things that you've been thinking about. Maybe we can flip the script here and say, not what you want, what you want to hear me say. That's a stupid thing to input, but tell me something that you've been thinking about in private, like something you wouldn't normally try to investigate with the idea that it's actually going to be solved or figured out. What's a problem that you have in your business? What's something you've been noticing in your relationships? Maybe it's with an intimate spouse or partner. Maybe it's with somebody that you work with, whether it's, a coworker that you have or maybe it's an idea you've been having about like where you live, like like something unique to your area type thing. So we'll leave it at that. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next pod.